There's always been a mystery and an allure to cruise ships. And this started when the Titanic crossed the Atlantic and didn't make it to New York.
Like, I definitely was drawn to it just because it seems so huge in a sense, you know?
Having that, you know, like solo adventure or travel, I think, at least as a guy, I think a lot of us must really identify with that and appreciate that.
I just wanted to take a break. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to get out and do something and put a little money aside to pay off my student loans.
I just want to provide my family a better life. That's why I got into this job.
I'm not that socialized person back at home. Here, sooner or later, you know everybody.
Well, for a musician, it's getting paid, and also for me, I like swimming, so you know.
I've been dreaming about to work abroad. I always think that they got good money.
I was born in a communistic country with the closed borders. I really wanted to see other countries, meet other people, and to learn about other world.
But I think that the allure of coming to the ship, not initially for everyone, is to see the world. They want to travel, but they don't realize.
I initially thought it would be a great way to travel, which it is, you know, see the world, get paid to see the world, and then you just get sucked in.
I took a job on a cruise ship in January 2009 for a lot of the same reasons as them. Traveling, meeting people from all over the world, putting real life on hold for a bit. But early on I started noticing that a lot of people who'd been doing ships for a while seemed to have a really intense love-hate relationship with it that maybe they didn't even fully understand. I wanted to find out what it was about this lifestyle that evoked such strong emotions. What kept so many people coming back, contract after contract? What was the allure of ship life?
Well, logic, there's only one way to entertain yourself. After job hours, you go in crew bar, and what you gonna do there?
Alcohol and girls, that's the other side project. That's the side project you go when you enter ship life.
This is something that I always tell to people, because every beginning of the cruise, I have to, you know, to do an introduction to the new crew that comes on board, and I always tell them, you have two options: either you have fun, or you don't have fun, and you either go for the first option. Have fun, enjoy, you know, enjoy what you do, you know, be proud of your job. But at the end of the day, hang out with your friends, have fun, drink. If you don't want to drink, don't drink. But if you want to drink, drink crazy, all right? The thing is that on cruise ships, you're supposed to have kind of like a certain level of alcohol in your blood. But to be honest with you, that doesn't matter.
Like when you come on board, you see all these girls from different places. Well, for us, me being Latin, you know, you see all that, and you just want internationalization of your pinus for all those girls, you know?
I mean, guys have this mentality, it feels like guys have this mentality that that you don't know their past and their history, so they can sweep you off their feet if they so choose. You know, like, you're the only one for me. But you damn well know as soon as you get off that boat, there's going to be someone else that is the only one for them for that contract. Like, that's the fine print, you know?
I drank so much in my first 3 or 4 or 5 years on ships. I mean, I think it's the whole work hard, play hard concept as well, right? You work so many hours.
I mean, when you say that, I mean, last night, I almost went to the bathroom with passengers, actually. I was super close.
The women, oh, the women. There was so many women, and it was so much fun. I mean, every week it was flavor of the week, and sometimes sometimes it was 31 flavors of the week. It was just a crazy party. I mean, I had to pinch myself. I died and went to heaven. I had guys saying, "Look at this job this guy's got. What a job!" I mean, everybody was envious because and I had my bar standing room only.
Who had a diamond ring the size of an ice cube. She came up to me after the name of that tune. She said, "My cruise is ruined." I'm like, "What's wrong?" She said, "Somebody marked my answer wrong because I put memories," and the answer is memory, because this other song called Memories. And I'm like, "Lady, you're gonna win a bookmarker here. How could this ruin your cruise?"
But coming on this ship, I was like, I'm going to try things out for a change. Like, I'm going to have to take my piercings out. I'm not going to have hard liquor. Maybe I'll go sex-free too. Who knows, you know? Like, do a whole moral makeover instead of moral debacle. But
then you have few doubles. Then you have a few doubles, and then cigarette and another few doubles. And I saw situations when musician was coming to bartender, and he was asking 8 shots in one glass. It was full glass of liquor, and he was drinking it and didn't get drunk.
You can party like an animal, and you can show up just straight after the party to your job. If you have your eyes wide, take some eye drops, you know, eat in the morning something to make you feel better and not smell. Make sure, you know, you ask your friend, do I smell? And if your friend says yes, you know, go and wash your mouth again and eat something. But make sure you have a buddy to ask, because you never know when you smell like, you know, like alcohol. It happened to me, so that's why.
The promenade deck, well, the deck 7, or it would be like deck 7 when you have the ocean right there. And we were just kissing right there, and I just took it out, and I just throw it in. And
I've seen safety managers get left by the ship because they've fallen asleep in whorehouses in South America.
God, I became such a pro at 45-minute naps on my first couple ships, you know, because I'd be able to, in full suit, I could lie down on my bed coffin style and pass out for 45 minutes and then go right back to work, and, you know, go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning after crew bar and get up at 7 and start the next day just fine. I mean, it's outrageous how much drinking and how much partying goes on ships. But I think also I've mellowed and settled down over my years, because I think part of that agenda is not only work hard, play hard. I think it's also about finding pussy and hooking up.
I don't know. It's crazy. I know a lot of people that's been fired. My best friend's been fired and rehired.
I was, 25, 30 years younger. And you know, I was a little trimmer, and I was in better shape and everything, you know, and I was, you know, I used to pick up it was crazy. I mean, so I've had a lot of women in my life, you know.
So it's like, if everyone else is having a good time, I usually don't need a drink. The only time I don't even honestly know why I drink. It just kind of sometimes happens, and I have a great ass time, but it's like, I honestly didn't need to drink to have a good time. It just kind of like worked itself into it.
But I mean, drinking on ships is one way of helping people sleep. You know, in a few drinks or things like that, you know, and you're in a kind of confined cabin, which is kind of under pressure somewhat, you know. It's kind of slightly pressurized, you know.
You know what? Funny enough, because I've done my share of partying, you'd think at one point I would have, you know, said to myself, wow, we really have to slow down, or I got to slow down because this is becoming a habit. No, I always just did it because it was fun, and you know, and you would sit there and you would just say, okay, I'm done. I partied too much. I'm tired of waking up in the morning with a hangover, and you just give yourself a week, and say, okay, that's it. I need to, clean my system out, and then as soon as it's cleaned out, okay, back here we go. So it's all about just keeping healthy. It wasn't a matter of, becoming a problem.
I know for sure that alcohol is definitely a vice that everybody has. I have one myself. I mean, you'll never see me drinking. Nobody ever does see me drinking. I mean, like the cigar bar night one night or something like that. But I come to my cabin and have when I'm done work, I come down to my cabin and have 2 martinis and pass out because I need my Russian, my Swedish sleeping pill.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. I know that it's ridiculous to say it, but I wouldn't do chips if I didn't drink. Because at the end of the day, there's no way I'm going back to my 4-berth cabin to read a book and have lights out. To my windowless room. I couldn't do it. So I'm not proud of the fact of saying that I'm so reliant on alcohol and chips. It's a fact. I kind of am. I need it.
Drinking on ships, it's not the lifestyle, it's not the life it's all cracked up to be. It's not glamorous, it's not the Love Boat, it's not a fucking Disney show about kids who live on a boat. These people, there's some people that work 14 hours a day, and their wife at home has just had a baby and their father died, but they can't afford their plane ticket home to the Philippines or India. So yeah, they're gonna drink because that's the only way of coping. And if you go to the doctor and say I think I'm depressed, they're gonna fire you because you're considered a risk. So the only thing to do is drink and just suppress it, or for some people it's a way of bringing out how they truly feel. But you have to be careful with it. You don't want to say too much to the wrong person,
What I see when I go in the crew bar is the great release of stress that drinking provides for people who work very hard. And that they make the liquor cheaper, that the wine is cheaper, and that the beer is cheaper, means it's easier to unwind, to dumb down by numbing down, so to speak. And it's like that song, man, whatever it takes to get you through the night, whatever gets you through the night, man.
When I look back,
there's always been a mystery and an allure to cruise ships. And this started when the Titanic crossed the Atlantic and didn't make it to New York.
I definitely was drawn to it just because it seems so huge in a sense,
Having that, solo adventure or travel, I think, at least as a guy, I think a lot of us must really identify with that and appreciate that.
I just wanted to take a break. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to get out and do something and put a little money aside to pay off my student loans.
I just want to provide my family a better life. That's why I got into this job.
I'm not that socialized person in back home. Here, sooner or later, you know everybody.
Well, for a musician, it's getting paid, and also for me, I like swimming, so you know.
I've been dreaming about to work abroad. I think I always think that they got good money.
I was born in a communistic country with the closed borders. I really wanted to see other countries, meet other people, and to learn about other world.
But I think that the allure of coming to the ship, not initially for everyone, is to see the world. They want to travel, but they don't realize.
I initially thought it would be a great way to travel, which it is, you know, see the world, get paid to see the world, and then you just get sucked in.
I took a job on a cruise ship in January 2009 for a lot of the same reasons as them. Traveling, meeting people from all over the world, putting real life on hold for a bit. But early on I started noticing that a lot of people who'd been doing ships for a while seemed to have a really intense love-hate relationship with it that maybe they didn't even fully understand. I wanted to find out what it was about this lifestyle that evoked such strong emotions. What kept so many people coming back, contract after contract? What was the allure of ship life?
Well, logic, there's only one way to entertain yourself. After job hours, you go in crew bar, and what you gonna do there?
Alcohol and girls. That's the other side project. That's the side project you go when you enter ship life.
This is something that I always tell to people, because every beginning of the cruise, I have to, you know, to do an introduction to the new crew that comes on board, and I always tell them, you have two options: either you have fun, or you don't have fun. And you either go for the first option. Have fun, enjoy, you know, enjoy what you do, you know, be proud of your job. But at the end of the day, hang out with your friends, have fun, drink. If you don't want to drink, don't drink. But if you want to drink, drink crazy, all right? The thing is that on cruise ships, you're supposed to have kind of like a certain level of alcohol in your blood. But to be honest with you, that doesn't matter.
Like when you come on board, you see all these girls from different places. Well, for us, me being Latin, you know, you see all that, and you just want internationalization of your partners for all those girls, you know.
If these fucking things could talk. Imagine.
97.
I used to hang around these two musicians with like gigantic beards, and they looked so much older than me, even though they were the same age as me. They were like both like 6'4", huge, quirky, bearded, like guitar players who were like 24, like me. And we used to just like party, and like I can keep up with like the guys, but sometimes I couldn't. And they used to always take me home. They used to tuck me in like this, like little, oh, you can't see it, a little tuck, you know, a little tuck me in. And they used to just sing me, like, sing me lullabies. And I would hardly even remember it, but I'd have like a little Peruvian roommate up top, and she would like poke her head down just to watch and listen because she enjoyed like the music. And they used to sing me these lullabies at the end of my bed, and like that would be so creepy, like in real life, like in land, have two bearded men tuck you in, a little Peruvian like listening over top. But it was cool. I'll never forget that.
There are pros and cons about having a majority of your countrymen in one ship. It has its good sides and also a lot of bad sides, because the mafia mentality, you know, we're the majority here, we can do a lot of stuff or get away with it. Sometimes it gets out of control. Like we're set of friends and one guy works in the galley, one guy works in the restaurant, or one guy works at the stockroom where they keep the food. Let's get together and have a party inside the cabin. Okay, the guy who's in charge of the storage will smuggle out food like shrimps, lobsters, which is a major crime here in the ship, and he'll give it to the guy in the kitchen who'll cook it. Then the guy at the restaurant or the bar will smuggle drinks and have party inside the cabin.
We all know that Filipinos are like majority. We're like a mafia here, you know. It's like 60 or 50% working on board are all Filipinos. But still, we don't, the fact is, we are living in a closed, contained environment. And what makes this experience worthwhile is you get to know people from other countries, share the cultures.
I think it's one of the good things about ship life as well, because as long as you get older back, if you're on land base, it gets even harder to make friends, you know?
And you start all over again. You know, which happened to me in 2005. I got off the ship. I said, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. I quit the ships. I moved to San Diego. And I was there for over 2 years. I did not have one friend. I was working. I was doing all right. I mean, I was making a living. I was playing at a restaurant 3 nights a week, and I was playing in nursing homes. I had a lot of accounts all over San Diego. I was playing all over and making a decent living. But I just, like, after the second Christmas of playing Christmases and making everybody happy with my music, and then bringing their little kids up and smiling, everybody's, oh, play Santa Claus is coming to town. And me going home on Christmas Eve watching It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart and freaking, you know, being by myself, I just said, man, you know, if I'm going to be alone, I might as well be alone on the ship making a decent wage, you know, and not paying rent, you know.
And people start understanding that the friendship is much more important than career, than money, than some other bullshit, which if you consider people working on shore, that's the values of the people working on shore: the career, money, and some prospects. So people working on ships, they are different.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fantastic Hooper Lower Dewey Lake. Actually, we have a fantastic experience. Just be there and swimming and look at all the scenery there is quite amazing. And we made it. You know, we got some balls between our legs. It's awesome.
Tim, what'd you think of that?
Man, that swim just, like, you can swim out there and all you can see is the mountains, man. Pretty
Incredible,
awesome.
eh?
Pretty awesome.
I personally believe that we're on this planet to laugh and love, literally, to laugh and love. And on ships, you really, really get a bit closer to sensing the truth in that statement.
Great success!
Great success! I like. Very, very much happy that this morning, of course.
Red. The red arrow. Upper Dewey Lake? Check. Devil's Punch Bowl? Check.
And the lyrics of the song, among the things I remember about the song, I don't like nosy people getting in my business and things. I've been through all them changes, and I know the bad things that it brings. Give me a simple life full of fun and joy. Don't you understand? I'm a big old country boy who likes groovy people.
You don't have any rents to pay. You don't clean your clothes. You get food every day for somebody else. You don't even fucking do your bed. You don't have to pay for rent. You don't have to pay for service. You don't have to pay for nothing. So that's, you don't get that in real life, you know?
As a child, I remember this kind of freedom I had. And maybe not freedom, but the fact has I don't have to worry about anything.
Actually tonight I'm very happy because I don't have to do anything rather than order cheeseburger and cruising.
Like organized, I consider this not easy life, but well-organized life. It's like a well-organized community. You just need to attend the work and to do your job properly or quite good. It depends on the abilities. And your routine, your life is organized.
The reality is we're in a bubble. And the rest of the world is what we see if we're watching, you know, TV and can see the news or whatever. But we're in a bubble out here, man. We're like we're in a floating city that's like a terrarium.
No, man, actually, when you start working on a ship, and then when you go on vacation, it's not the life that you have anymore.
It's just about the ship. It's very institutional. You're told when to eat. You're told when to sleep. You work 7 days a week. You see amazing places all over the planet. However,
you can just get so detached, I think, from normal life, so to speak. And what I mean, it's hard to say what normal life is, but I think when you're on a ship, you can just get so used to your sort of daily cycle, and I think you can sometimes forget about, I don't know, just the way people behave in society.
Once you hit your 30s and you still say you work on a cruise ship, there is that misconception that people go, oh, you're like, you got this Peter Pan syndrome and...
850-475. Give him a nice round of applause. Congratulations.
Everything keeps moving, whether you're there or not. Life goes on, and you're kind of stuck almost like in a time warp, you know. You do your time on a ship, and then you come home, and everything, you know, your hometown's gotten bigger, and your friends are married, and your family's divorced, and people have kids, and people die, and you're here, and you don't actually experience. It's like watching the news, you know. You disassociate yourself from it. So it's just the fact of going home and trying to start your life is really hard, because nothing's the same as where you left it.
Nothing really changes. It's all the same. And then after a couple of weeks, there gets the stir craziness. You realize that, you know, life back home just gets put into a Tupperware container. You burp the corner, and it's all the same.
These guys that I'm working on a ship, these are the guys that can understand me right now. Even though you tell them stories, those friends back home, they can never relate, you know. It's like, oh.
I mean, like the brother we were talking with last night in the crew bar. Prime example. He's on for 10 months. He's home for 2 months. First month, everything cool in the gang. The second month, like he told us, losing his mind. Didn't know what to do. And he hit the nail on the head. He said, hey, man, ship life is better than life on shore. It's like, wow. And that's a comment of somebody who is very comfortable with the structure that is life working on a cruise ship.
When you get back on land, there's a lot more hassle that you have to deal with. You know, I mean, here everything's taken care of, and, you know, when you're back home, you got to cook your own meals, you got to clean your own place, you got to take care of your bills, and you got all this other stuff that you have to take care of. And then on top of that, every single day you're in the same place. So if you've been on ships for a long time, you know, you get used to waking up every morning and looking out the window, and it's a different place, you know. So I think a lot of the people that go back after saying they're not going to do it again, come back again because they say they get stir crazy. You know, they start getting restless after doing all that travel for so long. It just brings them back again. And again, the money.
But I call it like gypsy disease, you know, when you like to move and move from one place to another. And if you're staying in one place, you get bored.
I can see right now for me, like I could imagine what a problem it might be that I'll just perpetually do this for the next 4 or 5 years and then be like, all right, now what the fuck do I do? Like, I didn't get any of the things done that I needed to do in my late 20s because I was living this fantastic life, meeting people, making money. Like
I started to work at sea, and I become addicted with sea, not with the ship's life.
You know, working on a ship is like a drug. It's like, it's in your system. When you're on board, and especially when you got 2 more weeks and you're on vacation, you really fucking, sorry for the word, man, you're really, like eager to go home. You got 2 more weeks. And then when you go home, first week, second week, and the third week, it's like, you're kind of.
So I've been quit ships once and I came back, but I came, of course, just because I didn't find equal job on land, and this is one of the reasons, I believe, too.
Some people on ships are attracted to ships to maybe escape something or to kind of almost put life on hold for a certain amount of time, and I think sometimes that you know, ship life attracts people that maybe aren't so secure in themselves.
Because, you know, if you live in the city, you live in some apartment, the only thing you see is just the opposite house in front of you, or some street. You go to, for example, you work in the office, you go to the office, you sitting in the office and you come to the window. What do you see? You see the other building, the other office, and you cannot see further than maybe 100, 200 meters. You cannot see further. And being at sea, I can see further up to the horizon. This is the strange, yeah, but I like it. I just like it. What? That's it.
You don't get establish relationship with somebody. The friends, the people that you know, they come and go. You have a great time with them, and then you don't know when you see them again. So it's kind of a fucked up life, and it's not real.
It wasn't until late in my 3rd and final contract that I started really understanding this lifestyle. There was a dependency you could develop by being out on ships too long. The highly structured lifestyle, along with extended time away from family and friends, left a lot of people feeling more and more isolated from their lives back home. And the idea of getting re-established on land becomes more scary and daunting as the years pass by. Maybe some people are immune to it, but after 2 years on ships, I definitely felt it creeping up on me.
And eventually, you know, every time I'd say, I'm done with ships, I'm done with ships, I'm not going back, I'm not going back. And it's just funny because, you know, you always come back.
Easy thing to go. You go back like a dog goes back to their house if they know they have the fucking food every day and all that shit, you know?
It's a good job. It's a lot of people, it's a way of life, and you make your salary and you save your money and you go home and you start your business. It's also a good thing. But a lot of people fall by the wayside where they come out and they keep coming back for like 20, 30 years and they never give it up.
I wish I could go back to my first ship and just say, I'm just going to do this for 5 years and just do it as much as I can, get as much money together as I can, and go buy a house or something and settle down
and do something else, you know. But to do it as long as I have, like I say, man, you know, you give up a lot on land, and I mean, I don't have a house. I don't really have any roots. I got friends in Vegas and stuff, and you know, in Shelley, but you know.
So you have to be strong enough to say, this is my last contract and this is it. It's going to be hard to be on land. As I mentioned it before, every time that I go home, I'm just ready to go back because you're like, I need some action. I need some, you know, I need some cabin parties. I need to be around the world, to wake up on this place.
Well, adapting to being on land is obviously different to being here. There's quite a few people that have trouble doing that and want to just keep going, you know, and end up staying out here for 10 years or something. I haven't stayed out here for 10 years, but I mean, I started the first one in 2001.
I can be home for a couple of months, and suddenly I'm itching to come back out on the water again.
And it's been a quite tough decisions to actually get out of ship life, because you go back home, each time I go back home I see things worse progressing all the years, and you say, fuck, how can I get out?
If you want to do the ships, if you really want to do the ships, and it's a good experience, you could really have a good time and make a good living and do it, but set a goal. Set a goal to do it for 5 or no more than 10 years. But really, just put your nose to the grindstone, work 10 months on, and 2 months off, make as much money as you can, and then get out. As I said before, you get caught up in a trap of working on the ships.
And even people who, like, not seamen, they are like join the ship and work for some time, and then they leave the ship. I believe they mind changed.
But it's a decision that you have to do, and it's something that I want to do. Like for me, I'm planning probably soon to just, you know, stop ship life. I don't want to do it anymore. I love it, and you know, and I could do it all my life, but I don't want to be 35 years old and being on the same, you know, like doing cruise ship life, partying and doing this and travel. This is not what I want.
Yeah, I could definitely see finishing this, because I mean, hey, I'm getting up there, you know. I mean, I don't want to be. Well, I mean, I could see doing it into my 60s, you know. And the one good thing about what I do is, I think that I can play. As long as I'm still able to walk and talk, I could still play piano till in my 70s or 80s, whatever, you know.
I think there are a lot of people on cruise ships like me who, in some ways, feel trapped by this industry because it's the only thing I know in my adult professional life and my adult career, and it doesn't immediately translate to a land job. I mean, the second time that I left ships and tried a land career, I sold cars, I sold life insurance, I tried for just chachi sales jobs, which I hated, because you know, a port shopping guide isn't exactly in demand in Birmingham, Alabama, you know? So it's, there's that part too. It's like I've given up the formative years of my professional career. And so when I ultimately do call it quits out here, what do I do? I mean, where do I start? And you were over at my place last night and we were talking about that. We were talking about, you know, you just gotta go for it ultimately, I guess, and just take a crack at it. Take a crack at starting over.
I'm like living in Western world, because in my country is a little different, less smiles, you know, less laugh, nothing going easy there in general. So for me it's nice to change my mind, and yeah, people thinks I'm heavy person probably, but in fact, I'm trying to avoid it because I've been heavier before. You know what I mean? Mentally.
And I'm giving you, it's really the reality, you know. 2 weeks on vacation it's like after that, you're like finding the life that you're having on board, because it's really different, you know.
I do believe that there is a part of this life and this lifestyle that can become comfortable enough that life on land is not necessarily unbearable, maybe that's not the right word, but that life on land is not as satisfying.
You are never there, not in one place and not in the other place. You have to keep moving. And yes, you can think like, okay, you are traveling. Who else can, you know, like said that is traveling all the time and knowing all these places and shit. But at the same time, you are everywhere, but you are nowhere. So that's the main regret.
Yeah. One of the things, they'll tell you something that you don't realize, and when you do these ships long enough, is you forfeit your connection to land. Do you know that? Yeah, you forfeit your connection to land, because when you do these ships long enough, all your friends move on. You lose the closeness to your friends. Your friends get married, or something comes up and they leave town or something, and you go back to the same place, they're not there anymore.
It's like you don't belong to the world anymore. You've been living in a different world, and that world is ships.